everyone. You are welcome to today's video. This is Benjamin here, and today we want to talk about 24 laws of success. Success is what everyone desires to achieve in whatever they are doing, and actually it is what everyone deserves. No one deserves to fail, but there are certain laws of success that need to be followed in order for success to be achieved. That is the focus of today's lecture. And if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. If you are interested in getting other videos like this, click on the notification bell as well, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be informed instantly. Let's get started with this right away. I will take you to the screen where we will be able to look at this together. It's very important that we look at it together. Let's share the page and discuss this together. So here we are. Here we are, and let us make this conspicuous enough. 24 laws of success, and you can see them. We are going to look at them one by one, and so we shall take this one by one right away. We may not have all the time. There are quite many, so let's begin to take them one by one. The first law of success is the law of sowing and reaping. The law of sowing and reaping states that what you sow is what you will reap. For example, a farmer who plants seed crops in his farm will harvest according to what he planted. If he plants yam, he will harvest yam and not rice. So that's just a basic law, and this applies to all areas of life. What you plant is what will determine what you look forward to having at the time of harvest. So this is basic. The second one is the law of labor and profit. You know, the law of labor and profit states that labor produces profit, and this is really very, very important. You know, there's a portion of the Bible that states that in all labor there is profit. This implies that whatever is worth having is worth working for. You may have good ideas, but it is only positive actions that can translate such ideas into reality. You know, people who receive salaries or wages, they are paid for their labor. So you have to invest your labor in one field or the other, and then you get paid for it. The third one is choice. Your ability to make the right choices in life is critical to your survival and success. You know, so choice is very important. You know, what you choose is what you have. It is even written in the Bible, Deuteronomy 30:19, that, you know, God has set before you two things, life and death, good and evil, blessing and cursing. And he asked you to choose the one you want. You know, the life you are living right now is a product of the choices you have made over time. You know, there is choice to be made. Choice of career, choice of life partner, choice of habits. And if you choose the right things, you get the right results. If you make the wrong choices, you get the wrong results. So that in itself is a law that cannot be overemphasized. The fourth one is learning, the law of learning and mastery. And this states that the way to gain mastery of whatever you are doing or want to do in life is by learning. Let's begin with those who want to learn a trade. You become an apprentice and begin to understudy your master. That gives you the opportunity to learn the craft. Eventually, your apprenticeship will bring you into a state of mastership. This is the way to go. This is the right path to success in your chosen career. There is always a learning process. Today, people talk about mentorship. Yes, there is always need for mentorship. You need to understudy to learn something. Learning is the way to master whatever trade you have chosen for yourself. Then number 5 is practice and perfection. This law states that practice leads to perfection. It implies that the best way to learn to do something is to start doing it. Doing something consistently familiarizes you with the rudiments of doing it. The more you practice, you may fail, but if you are consistent enough, you will correct your errors and get to a stage where you become an expert. So practice takes you from the beginner stage to the expert stage. And that is really a very definite law of success. Law number 6 is the law of service. The law of service stipulates that anyone who aspires to become great in life has to render service to others. It's also even a biblical injunction in Matthew 23, verse 11, if you are a firm believer. We have another instance in the lost parable of the talents, Matthew 25. The same principle of gaining promotion through service is clearly implied. In life, success is always based on value exchange. You must provide value, either goods or services, in order to get paid. And that is exactly a definite law. It is through service that you achieve greatness. Law number 7 is delayed gratification. The law of delayed gratification states that business must come before pleasure. Devoting your time and resources to pleasure at the time you should be at work is like putting the cart before the horse. And I guess you know what that means. It is the horse that should pull the cart and not the cart to pull the horse. So consider the lost parable of the prodigal son. We cannot avoid making references to the teachings of Christ because, as far as I am concerned, he is the greatest teacher that ever lived and still lives. The prodigal son in that parable put pleasure before business. He took his own portion of his father's inheritance when it was not yet time. And what was the result? He got to a point of misery and abject failure until he really took he had a change of heart. Now, number 8 is the law of truth and freedom, and this states that the truth gives freedom. This implies that ignorance and falsehood are the chains with which man is kept in perpetual bondage. The Bible declares that people go into captivity for lack of knowledge. The solution to this problem has been proffered by no other than the Lord himself when he said in John 8:32 that you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. So this law is applicable to all aspects of human life, whether you are looking at it from the spiritual, physical, social, economic angle. That law is definite. From the spiritual angle, spiritual freedom comes when you find the truth, which is God, the source of life and all good things. And that will liberate you from the bondage of the devil, who is the negative force. So if you are looking at it from other angles, if whatever you allow to control you becomes, will bring you into bondage. So you need to liberate yourself from those evil habits that have actually taken over your life. You need to tell yourself the truth, Number 9 is the law of purpose. The law of purpose states that everything in life is designed for a definite purpose, and that things work best when they serve their true purpose. That is actually true. You know, one scholar stated that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. You know, you look at people who are abusing drugs is because they are misusing it. So any attempt, for instance, if you look at all the different tools, you know, the best way to achieve efficiency is to ensure that the right tools are used for their appropriate purpose. For example, an axe is used for cutting down trees or splitting pieces of wood. On the other hand, a hammer is designed for hitting nails into wood. Therefore, an attempt to use a hammer for cutting down a tree is to embark on a journey into the valley of frustration. So everything has its purpose, and to achieve success, you need to observe the law of purpose. Even your own life has a purpose, which you must discover so that things will fall into shape. The number 10 is the law of polarity. The law of polarity states that everything is on a continuum and has an opposite. Polarity is the state of having either a positive or negative. The law of polarity presupposes that choice is inevitable in everything we do. We have already discussed the law of choice, but you need to understand the law of polarity, good and evil on earth, So you look at it, where you have good, you have evil. So a choice is inevitable. You must choose good if you don't want the evil. God and Satan are two opposites. Just as you have light and darkness, life and death, blessing and cursing, love and wickedness, righteousness and sin, heaven and hell, and so on and so forth. If the one you want is the one you will choose, but then you need to understand that is exactly how life is designed to be. The law of polarity exists in the spiritual realm, in the physical and the economic, and then it is the knowledge of the law of polarity that will enable you to make the right choices. Law number 11 is the law of wisdom and action. The law of wisdom and action states that doing something is the way to achieve the desired objective. Knowing something is good, believing it and saying it are equally important, but doing it supersedes them all. That is wisdom. So when it comes to achieving the desired result, there is no substitute for taking action. Thus, wisdom is the application of knowledge, or simply put, wisdom is knowledge put in action. The Lord said that you may know these things, but your true happiness comes only if you do them. John 13:17. So the law of wisdom and action, very critical to achieving success. Number 12 is the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect states that every cause produces an effect. It is said that nothing happens by chance and that there is no smoke without fire. In computer language, it is said garbage in, garbage out. In other words, the input determines the output. So this is a definite law. What you put in determines what you are going to get. The cause determines the effect, and that is really very important. Number 13 is the law of compensation. The law of compensation states that every person is compensated for what he or she has contributed. We call it the law of give and take. It simply states that you get back what you give to others. This implies that you will receive the reward for whatever efforts you put in. The Bible puts it quite aptly: the measure you give is the measure you will receive. As a worker or businessman, the income you earn today is your compensation for what you had done in the past. So the law of compensation is very definite, and It plays a major role in achieving success. If you want to be compensated, then you must make a contribution. Wherever you are, in business, in marketing, in any field of life, you need to make a compensation. That actually even leads to promotion. You don't expect an employer to promote somebody who makes no contribution and leave the person who is contributing quite immensely to the progress of the organization. So the law of compensation is critical to achieving success in life. Law number 14 is the law of imagination. The law of imagination, which can also be called the law of thought, presupposes that a person becomes what they think about most of the time. This law is clearly stated in Proverbs 23, verse 7, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. This shows that the quality of life you live is determined by the power of your imagination. I remember a scholar that wrote the popular book, The Power of Positive Thinking. I cherish the book to the extent that it corresponds with the scriptural injunctions. Many great scholars have emphasized the point that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can certainly achieve. So the power of imagination, it works both positively and negatively. There are a lot of people who are destroyed by their imagination. They just allow their imagination to go haywire, allow the enemy to capture their imagination negatively, and that ruins their life. You need to use your imagination positively. Think of people who have invented great things in life, great writers, who have come up with bestsellers. They maximized the power of their imagination. So it is really very important for you to understand the law of imagination. It can make or mar your life depending on how you apply it. Law number 15 is the law of vision. The law of vision states that without vision, success is impossible, of course. The Bible puts it quite emphatically that where there is no vision, the people perish. Vision is your mental picture of what you want to become or achieve in future. So the vision we are talking about here is not necessarily the vision you see when you sleep. No, this has to do with your active mental picture of what you want to become. You have to see something for you to be able to pursue and seize it. What you see becomes easy for you to seize. What you cannot picture, you cannot capture. And this is really true. I remember the conversation between Abraham, the father of faith in the Bible, and God, our creator. And God told Abraham, he said that what you see, I will give you. So you can understand, but this has to do with, you have to have a clear vision of the kind of life you want to live. And this is really very, very important. Law number 16 is the law of faith. The law of faith, also known as the law of belief, states that the good things of life shall be granted to every person according to their faith. If you want to learn details of how the law of faith operates, find time and study the gospel of Jesus Christ as recorded in the Bible by Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. You will find one recurring decimal. All the people who received miracles from the Lord did so according to their faith. On several occasions, Jesus told the miracle seeker, let it be done to you according to your faith, or your faith has made you whole. So the law of faith cannot be overemphasized. And of course, the Bible says the just shall live by faith. So faith is critical to your survival and success in a bad world. So let's proceed. Law number 17 is the law of cost. The law of cost, otherwise known as the law of price, states that there is always a price to pay in order to buy, do, or produce something. In economics, there are laws of cost, such as the law of increasing cost, the law of decreasing cost, and the law of constant cost. Without going into full economic analysis, the bottom line here is that it is impossible to achieve productivity without cost, just as there can be no output without input. To achieve something worthwhile, you must pay the price by giving something away. To receive certain important services, you are expected to pay the stipulated charges. So the law of cost is central to achieving success in whatever field of life you are considering. Law number 18 is the law of communication. The law of communication states that by your words, you will be justified and acquitted, and by your words, you will be condemned and sentenced. Communication is simply the way you express yourself so that other people will understand. Although the use of language is a unique human phenomenon, a feature that differentiates human beings from animals, yet most people find it difficult, if not impossible, to use words positively when trying to communicate their thoughts, ideas, or feelings to other people. Communication is powerful. When there is a breakdown of communication, it can lead to war. It can lead to divorce between husband and wife. Communication is central to achieving success. A lot of people are fired in their workplace because of poor communication. So communication is central to achieving success in life. It's one of the laws of success. Law number 19 is the law of industry. The law of industry, which is also called the law of work, states that whatever is worth having is worth working for. This is related to the law of labor and profit we earlier discussed, but we will look at some slight variation here. Another way of stating this law is that anyone who would not work should not eat. It's in the Bible. This law is as old as creation. However, it is undeniable that it's not just working hard, but working smart that gives success in life. Take note of this. Industrial development brought about large-scale production of goods and services, which contributed greatly to advancement in science and technology, medicine, transportation, road and rail construction, aviation, education, urbanization, and general improvement of human standard of living. This is indisputable. The Industrial Revolution, if you like, this development began with the Industrial Revolution when machines were invented and the first factories were established. Imagine what life would have been for all of us today if modern means of transportation had not been invented, if the various machines, electrical and electronic devices were not invented. You know, how could one have traveled from one country to another? We have the airplane that has made transportation and aviation, transportation easy, you know. And then we have electrical and electronic devices. And increasingly every day you have various kinds of applications that are simplifying tasks. And all these are a result of industrialization. So industry makes success, facilitates success, if you like. And so the law of industry is critical to achieving success in human life. Number 20 is the law of association. The law of association states that the type of people you associate with affects the quality of life you live. This implies that if you associate with failures, you are likely to end up a failure yourself. On the contrary, if you associate with successful people or those who are working hard towards achieving success, you are likely to succeed. An adage says, that if you want to fly with the eagles, you don't scratch with the turkeys or the vultures, if you like. The Bible paints the picture even more clearly. He who walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Proverbs 13, verse 20. So the law of association is powerful, you know, it is quite powerful. The people you associate with will influence you either positively or negatively. And of course, you also talk of the kind of business partners you have. You know, today networking has become a very powerful means of achieving success because networking it thrives on leverage, the power of leverage. But then you need to network with the right people so that your success will become easy to achieve. Now, law number 21 is the law of love. Of course, we have followed the laws of success here in no particular order, you know, but you see, we are not talking of which one is more important. We are just talking about these laws. They are all equally important. For those, some are more powerful than others. You know, the law of love states that you should treat people the way you would like other people to treat you. This is based on the biblical statement of Jesus Christ, which is widely known as the Golden Rule. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Matthew 7:12. So according to him, the law of love is the greatest commandment of the Almighty God, and it is the foundation of all other laws and commandments. You will find this in Matthew 22:37-40. Paul himself, an apostle of Jesus, noted that love is the fulfilling of the law in the sense that love does no evil to others. And if you look at it, you discover that, of course, you know, if you want to succeed in life, you have to treat people well. Everyone in this life, you know, will cherish someone who expresses love towards them. If you want people to, you know, patronize what you are doing or buy into the idea you're projecting or use your product or service, you need to convince them that you care for them. Even in the political arena, you discover that the electorate will not vote for someone whom they discover doesn't really care for them. You know, you need to show love, you know, in order to also attract love. And we are not talking of the negative love that has destroyed many lives in the world today. We are talking of positive love, genuine love, sincere love, you know. And this has to do with behaving well. It has to do with character, you know, doing the right thing at the right time, treating people well. If you are selling goods maybe in a shop, for instance, and people come and you antagonize them, you don't expect them to come back to buy from you. People want to go to places where they feel secure, where they feel safe, where they can have a sense of belonging, where they feel, you know, respected and all that. So, and this in itself is a very powerful law, you know. You want to succeed in your marriage, you must love your life partner. Otherwise, the marriage will become a failed marriage. Many divorces are taking place all because of lack of love. So it is very important for us to look at this. That's a powerful law of success. Law number 22 is the law of preparation. And this states that proper preparation saves time, reduces mistakes, and improves quality. Preparation refers to the things that are done to make something ready or to become ready for something, To build a good house, for instance, you need to make the necessary preparations, such as acquiring the land, getting a building plan, sourcing the relevant building materials, and so forth. Here is what the Bible says about it. Prepare your work without and make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterwards build your house. Proverbs 24, verse 7. So preparation, very, very important. When you are prepared for something, even if you are going to sit for an exam, your success depends on your preparation. So preparation is key. People who play football, they practice towards it. People who run in, who are sprinters, they prepare, So preparation is really key to success in everything you do. Of course, it is always said that if you fail to plan, if you if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You need to prepare adequately for whatever you want to achieve, and that makes success achievable. Law number 23 is the law of markets. The law of markets states that the way to get paid for your work is to bring value to the marketplace. In other words, anyone who produces a product or service gets paid for that work, and then he or she gains the purchasing power to demand for other goods and services. If you want to succeed in whatever field of activity you choose for yourself, you must make sure that you bring a valuable product to the marketplace. I have uploaded a video that is titled, how to turn your ideas and skills into products. And of course, that's the only way to bring value. It's an economic law that the person who gets paid is the one who brings value into the marketplace. Life thrives on value exchange. You have to bring value and exchange it for another value. And if you bring no value, you get no value. So the marketplace is a real, is a reality for everyone, because the entire world is a large marketplace. Everything you do, you need to exchange value for value. And of course, if you bring no value, then you get no value. So the law of markets is very important. And I remember, in sales, it is said that, you don't expect success until sales are made. And you don't talk of sales when you don't have products or services. You need to provide something, bring real value into the marketplace. And the law of markets thrives on the law of demand and supply. And if you are conversant with the economic indices, the forces, the factors that determine, how the market operates, you discover that, if you bring a product into the market and it's the kind of product that nobody wants to buy, of course, it's total failure. And that's why people make market research. Before you produce something, you need to ensure that it is something that people will like to buy. And the best way to get value in the marketplace is to provide goods and services that will help other people solve their problems. Your goods and services must meet specific customer needs if you are going to succeed. And that is in consonance with the law of markets. Then finally, law number 24 is the law of gestation. The law of gestation states that it takes time to produce things or achieve good success in any field of life. Every good thing takes time to achieve. If you plant a tree, for instance, you can't grow it in a day. You don't expect a baby to develop properly in a few months. Gestation is the process by which something such as an idea forms and develops. You must therefore see success as a process that takes time and effort to achieve. Trying to take the shortcut to success is a recipe for failure, and most people are victims of this error. The Bible throws light on this. A greedy man is in a hurry for wealth. He doesn't know that poverty will come to him. Proverbs 28:22. So the law of gestation is a definite law, and it is central to achieving success. So we have looked at the 24 laws of success, and that is exactly how it has been in today's video. We have looked at 24 laws of success. You can have a quick rundown of these 24 laws in this particular page. First, we have the law of sowing and reaping. 2, labor and profit. 3, choice. 4, learning and mastery. 5, practice and perfection. 6, service. 7, delayed gratification. Law number 8, truth and freedom. Number 9, purpose. Number 10, polarity. 11, action. 12, cause and effect. 13, compensation. 14, imagination. 15, vision. 16, faith. 17, cost. 18, communication. 19, industry. 20, association. 21, love. 22, preparation. 23, markets. And 24, gestation. We have looked at all these one by one. And if you have enjoyed this video, if you have learned some benefits, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to click on the uh, on the on the bell icon, so that whenever I upload a new video on this channel, you will be notified instantly. Like the video and share it with your friends and relatives. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.